What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another New York Giants video. Happy Monday, everybody. Really no such thing as a happy Monday, especially after your team has lost again and you now sit at 0-3. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. You know what to do. If you could hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, that'd be great. It's the best way to support the channel. You guys have been killing it with that. I really do appreciate all the support during dark times for the New York Giants. A couple of things I'll be doing here in the next couple of days, just so you know. Tonight I'll be live on Sports Live on the ATL's channel about 10:45. I'm going to put a little note in my community notes to leave the link to his channel. So go over there, subscribe him up, come on by. We're going to talk about the Falcons and the Giants, what happened yesterday. And tomorrow night, I'm going to have Tim from Online Big Blue Sports Entertainment on my channel. Looking forward to that. I'll try to let Tim go at a decent hour because I can get talking forever, and I could talk to Tim a long time about the Giants. I could talk about the Giants for a long time with anybody pretty much, so we'll try to let him go at a decent hour, not keep him too long. But I am looking forward to both of those things. And again, I'll put the notes in my community notes for both of those live streams tonight and tomorrow. I want to talk about Dave Gettleman. And watching Tim's video today, I'm going to try to be calm because Tim is very calm when he talks. I'm going to try to be calm. Dave Gettleman needs to be fired. Really, that's it. This is done. And I've been a defender of Dave Gettleman for a couple of years because I felt like Dave Gettleman took over a bad situation. I felt like he took over a situation where the Giants were devoid of talent. They had a lot of cap issues. They had some aging players, and they had some bad drafts. And I said it's going to take a couple of years for Gettleman to turn this around. And a lot of people did not like the Saquon Barkley pick. I can't say that I didn't. I loved the Saquon Barkley pick. And to be completely honest with you, after the 2018 season he had, it looked like it was a good pick. You all know I was not a big advocate of the Daniel Jones pick, as most Giants fans were not. But you look at what Gettleman has done, and this team is a complete disaster. This team is no better off and could be worse than it was when he took it over. The Giants have done a complete 360. Now, I know some people get that wrong. People think when you do a complete turnaround, they'll say you did a 360. That's incorrect. If you do a complete turnaround, it's a 180. If you do a 360, you're right back where you started. And that's where we are, devoid of talent and in a terrible cap situation. Your quarterback, depending on what you want to do there, you're going to have to sign this guy. You gave Leonard Williams a ton of money. You gave Kenny Galladay a ton of money. You gave Adoree Jackson a ton of money. And none of it's working. You draft the Kadarius Toney. It doesn't work. You bring in scrap heap offensive line players. It doesn't work. His vow to New York Giants fans when he took over is, I will fix the offensive line. And 4 years later, we're still waiting for it to be fixed. It hasn't been fixed. And it may be worse. It's unbelievable. Now, granted, we've had some injury problems, but every team deals with them. I'm not using it as an excuse. It's a shame that Blake Martinez tore his ACL. That sucks. It's a big loss for the New York Giants. That's not Dave Gettleman. So it's not his fault that the players get hurt. It's not his fault that Saquon Barkley also tore his ACL last year, okay? What is his fault are the terrible draft picks, the bad trades, and the bad contracts. This is what happened with Jerry Reese at the end of his tenure. When Jerry Reese first came here, Jerry Reese did a good job, which is why the Giants were able to be really competitive and win a Super Bowl in 2011. Okay, now Ernie, of course, he built a lot of that team, but Jerry Reese did very well his first year. We used to have the In Reese we trust because he did really good his first few years here, but then he started to tail off and the draft picks didn't pan out and he made bad contracts and the team was bad. And I said, Dave Gettleman's got a couple years, but here we are. Bad contracts, no talent. And we're a terrible team. Still, he hasn't fixed anything. Nothing. Guy doesn't deserve his job. And the other thing that happens, and I don't know how much Gettleman has to do with the hiring of the head coaches. And again, I could do a video on Dave Gettleman. I could do a video on John Mara. I could do a video on Joe Judge. I could do a video on Jason Garrett. I could do a video on Patrick Graham. I could do a video on everybody in power with the New York Giants because they've all been terrible. But this all starts at the top with John Mara, which I'm sure he'll get a video here in the near future. But Dave Gettleman, these are just things I don't understand. Leonard Williams, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to get Leonard Williams back here. I guess I didn't realize how big of a miss Dalvin Tomlinson would be. I didn't realize how much we would miss him. I just thought Leonard Williams found it last year when he was flourishing in the Patrick Graham system and he was going to be a good player. I was wrong. What else is new? But he traded for Leonard Williams in a year that we were really bad. And I never really understood the trade And there was just no way he was going to let Leonard Williams walk because his ego was not going to say I made a bad trade. I never got that, but, whatever. But nothing's worked. He traded JPP away. JPP's killing it in Tampa Bay. He traded away Odell Beckham, which I actually agreed with because I didn't feel like Odell Beckham made a lot of sense for this team. But he also said that he wasn't going to trade him, and he did. They let Kevin Zeitler walk, which was our best lineman, and then he never replaced Zeitler. This year in the draft, it would have made perfect sense to go out and draft some linemen. It would have made perfect sense to draft Rashawn Slater. It would have made perfect sense to do something like that. And he doesn't do that. He's had 6 first-round draft picks. He's picked Andrew Thomas. That was it. He's taken a running back, a quarterback, a defensive tackle, a cornerback that's not even on the team anymore. He's taken a wide receiver that doesn't see the field and doesn't know the playbook, and it seems to have a character problem. And he's done this a couple times because DeAndre Baker had a character problem. Now Kadarius Toney has a character problem. And what are we looking at? What is he looking at? I thought the Giants went through extensive interviews and everything to talk about, it's about a culture here, and we want good players, and we want good people, and what are we doing? Everything that Dave Gettleman's told us has been a lie. He's done nothing to fix anything. And again, I don't know how much he has say in the hiring process for the Giants, but I've said this recently here because it just came into my mind that I'm not saying Pat Shurmur was the correct man for the job, and I'm not saying that Pat Shurmur shouldn't have been fired. I don't think Pat Shurmur was the right guy. I think Pat Shurmur did a really poor job here. But Pat Shurmur had not a lot of opportunity. All right, I'll be fair. He didn't have a lot of opportunity at all. He took over the same bad team with the same bad problems that Joe Judge is now taking over, and we're in the same spot. But this is what kills me, and the more I thought about this is why I'm like, Gettleman's they got to fire him. Not only do we have the worst record in football since he's taken over, or one of them. If you're going to take a quarterback, number 6 overall in Daniel Jones, because your head coach liked him and fit his system, why would you fire Pat Shurmur? And if you planned on firing Pat Shurmur, if the Giants were bad in 2019, why would you take a quarterback that fit his system? Why wouldn't you just take another player and then sit there and wait for your quarterback for the new regime that came in? I don't understand that. The Giants have made decisions like this that have befuddled me and the fan base for years. And the fact that we have not gotten any better, and for the 5th year in a row we're 0-2, just shows you that he's a terrible general manager. And many Giants fans were initially right. They were right immediately, said didn't want this guy. There was a lot of Giants fans that did not like Dave Gettleman. Like I said, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was not going to kill him in the beginning of his tenure. I wanted to give him a couple of years to try to fix it. And like I said, we've done a complete 360 because where Jerry Reese left this team with bad drafts and bad cap space and a disaster, that is where we are again. We never got better. Arizona turned their team around and they drafted Josh Rosen. Oops, that's wrong. Turned around, took balls to take Kyler Murray. They did. They're a really good team now. Cleveland, once they got it right with Baker Mayfield, they got good drafts. They figured it out. They turned it around. The Rams turned it around fast. Like I watched teams turn it around really quick. And here we are, toiling with the same problems that we've had for 10 years. And it's extremely frustrating. I don't know what to say, but Dave Gettleman needs to go bye-bye. This hasn't worked, and he's had plenty of opportunity. We can only blame Jerry Reese for so long where you're like, this is Reese's problem, because now it's not. This is all Gettleman's team. There's nobody left here from the Jerry Reese regime except for Evan Ingram, who stinks, and Sterling Shepard, who's really good. That's it. The rest of this is Dave Gettleman's mess. The New York Giants are Dave Gettleman's mess. And all he did was take the dumpster fire that he took over and dumped gasoline on it. And now it's out of control. Because there is no, you look at the future for the New York Giants and what is it? We have a quarterback that we don't know if is a franchise quarterback. We got a running back who had a great rookie season and tore his ACL. We don't know what he is anymore. You got a bunch of defensive players that make no impact. You got an overpaid Leonard Williams who's done nothing this year. You went out and spent $72 million on Kenny Golladay, who they don't get involved in the game plan. You spent a number 20 overall pick on a kid that doesn't know the playbook, has a terrible attitude, and doesn't do anything. They can't even get on the field without injury. What have you done? You gave Logan Ryan 3 years, $30 million. You paid a bunch of secondary players, didn't fix the offensive line. The most important part of the team, you didn't do it. You got a young quarterback back there. You got an explosive running back, and you don't protect them. It's like buying a Ferrari and not getting the insurance. It's kind of pointless. But to me, Dave Gettleman's done. And I've had it with Dave Gettleman. I've had it with the Giants. Have too many snake oil salesmen that sell us a bill of goods and don't come through. They will say anything to get the job, and then they get there and they don't do their job. And that's a fact. Dave Gettleman has not done his job. Dave Gettleman has done nothing but make this team probably worse. And rebuilds don't usually take 4 years. But we are still in the middle of a rebuild, and he's going to be gone at the end of the year, and we're going to have to do it all over again because the next GM is going to come in, and the next GM is going to want his coaches, and the next GM is going to want his quarterback, and the next GM is going to want their players, and we're going to start all over again. And if they do decide to get away from Dave Gettleman, which I think they should, the rest of the coaching staff needs to go too. You can't keep doing this musical chairs thing. You keep the coach, you fire the GM, you fire the GM, you keep the coach. They all need to go. All of them. So when Dave Gettleman's going to the end of the year, and by the way, I don't even think he's going to make it to the end of the year. I say if the Giants are still bad by November 7th, after they play the Raiders, that's when they clean house, right before the bye. You're going to see them. They should all go. This team stinks. This team has no business being as bad as it is with all the money that they spent, all the draft picks that Dave Gettleman's had. I believe Dave Gettleman's had 33 draft picks, and not a one of them. There isn't one guy that I look at as a draft pick and go, he's the game changer. Not one. There isn't one guy that I look at and go, he's going to pick up this team. He's the future of the Giants. I mentioned that before. I don't see it. How can you be a GM for 4 years and not make the team any better? How can you make it worse? But that's what he did. And he needs to go. He needs to pay the ultimate price. And he needs to let somebody in there that can turn the team around because he didn't do it. Anyway, that's all I got in this video, guys. As always, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. You can subscribe on one of these things up here. You can watch my post-game video on one of these sides here. Leave a comment, drop a like, share the video. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I'll be on Sports Live and the ATL's channel tonight. I'm going to put a thing in the community notes. Hope to see you over there. It's Bad Diggy Dizzle. I'm out. Peace.